A Wander Through the Lands of Wiki by Marcy MsStake. 1. Volumilis unifasciatus. Imagine your fingers soft as sea glass and slow like old comets that tentacle dark skies. Imagine having to wear yourself in the sack of a teardrop to circumvent a bedroom able to dream space enough for only one pair of stalk eyes. No love. Imagine the language of mollusk, being a damp thing always assaulted by air. Imagine a faraway island where your ancestors slithered. Imagine living every day of your existence so vulnerable, even salt is too afraid to spill or cry in front of you. 2. Luca Parmitano. You come from a school named for Galileo. It could be destiny, a life written by the stars. You're a scientist, though, hold no sway with the living life plotted out by orbital magic. You're a man of the Trinity regardless, a walker of streets that have learned the art of diving through vast tide lines of space and deep constellations of oceans. You speak fluent space dog, even though you're still a baby in astronaut yearage. Asteroid 37627, Luca Parmitano loves you, despite you being no stranger to bird strikes. 3. Sakt Kaman. There are places in provinces where people live their lives so fast or slow they cannot be counted. Time tries to net them into numbers and fails. Some claim the population has evolved from eels, that the only language they whisper is third-generation chameleon. Some villages never know descendants, ticking always backwards in numbers, though. They remember heart stories pulsed out in song. 4. Roy Arden. Do you sit every night with the moon's ashen light stewed in a chipped cup that belonged to your gran? Do your brushstrokes understand the language of war as fluently as the bones of birds have come to know air? Are you able to capture on canvas the way love aches in the bowels of a 78-year-old man that never made it home after that final bomb? When the Queen of Virgins visits at dawn, can you match the color of her loss to any tone on your red palette? Do you ever wonder, if you had been named Luke, whether the sin of bodies could be erased with turpentine? 5. Luxembourg in the Eurovision Song Contest 1978. There has to have been a Paris night when an elephant cha-cha-cha'd with a set of twin giraffes while a sad euphonium played the chorus of Yes Sir I Can Boogie along Platform 5 at the Gare du Nord. You can already imagine the last train's reaction as passengers refused to earwig from the stomachs of its stuffed carriages, in case the zoo animals turned out to be bunches of cageless Raggies. All except that orphan child that rode down from Glasgow to begin her new life. And even though you know no one remembers the imaginary lassie's name, today she is queen of the ballet, dances as graceful as the neck of our favorite shot swan. 6. Sylvanus Cleveland. You wonder about dissonance, a beast of a man named for the forests and still able to butcher a whale because the blade work sliced through with that slash of the scarring of your inherited surname. Did their huge hearts ever whispered pelagic pleas that you spare them just once? Go deep into the trees. Or was the water that wed you and eventually drowned you so saturated into your genes that 200 years of memories scored through their blubber meant less than nothing, as the nightlights of your town burned with their ghosts, and your wife waited at the shore for the bright halo of your shadow to come home? 7. Wings for Christ Airport. You can't help the harpoon of giggles that exits your mouth when you read the names of the owners. Lonnie and Sherry. Last name, Good. How could they be anything else when they're blessed with landing the fiery metal chariots belonging to God? You wonder what would happen if the scheduled Sunday delivery of sanitized angel feathers suddenly found itself wholly up shit creek without a paddle. Would God St. Bernard come to rescue it? Or would Lonnie and Sherry lose the franchise? Resort back to their pre-Christian names, maybe something as simple and fitting as Mr. Sodom and Ms. Gomorrah. 8. Deer Harbor. Depopulation closed the post office the middle of October 1967. Did all the antlers become Canada geese, fly themselves south? You wonder, what happened to the letters, though? The ones that were on the way but couldn't be delivered? Do they still hover in a storm cloud, waiting to splatter their messages down in lightning and rain until the people migrate back and the post office beaks itself open again? 9. International cricket in 2011. Honestly, it's just a load of balls to us all.